It's almost June. That means it's time to talk E3. We have returned. I have one less organ. He has the same amount of organs.
Why are we talking about organs?
Because I had to do a cold open. So E3 2018 is almost here. We're going to do some predictions, and this is going to be a more casual episode of the Pause Menu. I've got a drink, and then we're going to take sips from it. Whereas before, we're usually like wham bam. But today we're going to talk about Microsoft at E3. A lot of things have already leaked. But, Christopher, Microsoft, E3, what do you want?
You know, Microsoft's the one where I really don't know what's going to happen. That's why I'm more excited for them. They're going to be the biggest surprise. Like, I'm excited. Well, I mean, like, you don't know where you get. Like, I want to see Halo 6. I feel like this is the year we're going to see Halo 6.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Halo in some capacity. But we had the conversation, is it... They don't have a game. Like,
yeah.
What is their game this year? And I should say for the holiday season. But is it Crackdown? Like, are they really going to push that game? The fact that they're still not showing it, to me, like, either that game's in trouble or they're just being really strategic with how they're going to show it.
Is Crackdown really that game?
That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I feel like Crackdown is fun, but, like, it's not the mind-blowing game. It's a great game through Microsoft, but it doesn't do it for me. It's not like I can't wait for Crackdown to come out. And now I feel like we've been seeing it for such a long time, and we really haven't seen anything about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's coming out. Like, what's happening with that?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, Crackdown I love that game. Like, the original Crackdown is awesome. I've actually been kind of replaying it on the One X, but you're right. Like, it hasn't reached that Gears status. It hasn't reached that even like Ori and the Blind Forest status. Yeah. Like, so it's tough. But part of me thinks that they're holding it back for that reason. Like, they're making sure that they're going to wait and they're going to do a blowout when it's time. So that way that way there's no misconceptions about what the game is, like the quality of it. They've been very cagey on it. And they did show it last year to the press. And, Kat, what are you doing? And the press, they didn't like it. They said it looked ugly. It didn't play very well. So, I don't know. It's tough. But, I mean, that game has missed its ship date twice now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were supposed to get that game last year with the launch of the One X, and it's going to be June, and they still don't have a date on it. So,
like, we just had a Pause Menu episode about this, and, like when the game is announced for when it's released.
Right.
Like, it's getting to the point where, like, games that are announced way early are, like, I don't know, they're just lost.
Yeah, but I mean, in this case,
it's great.
Yeah, Microsoft, this game was supposed to be out in 2016. So, like, this one, I don't think they intended to announce it and be this long, but they've got a black eye now because, Scalebound, Fable Legends, and now Crackdown, like, all these games got announced and they just never came out. And Sea of Thieves, we haven't really talked about in this show, but it's not the best. Like, it's got some issues, we'll say that. So they need some games, but I just don't know, like you said, I don't know if Crackdown's that game.
It's just, that's the biggest thing they need.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, they always bolster at E3s that we have the games.
Right.
But where did they go?
Right.
Like this year, again, Sea of Thieves, which it's okay.
I mean, yeah, that first update is pretty good. But yeah.
Why should we be super excited for State of Decay 2? I mean, that just came out.
I like that game.
You might like it,
yeah.
But again, I'm still hearing,
it's janky.
Criticism
it's
behind
janky.
it.
Yeah.
But, like, what else does Microsoft have it?
Well, I mean, so the big rumor is right now that their conference is going to be 2 hours long, which that's long for them. Yeah. They're usually 90 minutes, and they're usually the longest conference. What are you doing? You are going to be ruining this video, Samus. My cat is climbing a window currently, so that's fun. But so, I mean, if it is 2 hours, I want to know why. Like, because last year they did the whole, like, we've got 41 games, and we had that conversation as well of just, like, that's fine, but we only remember, like, 4 of them. Like, you can throw as many games as you want up there, but if they don't make an impact, then we don't care. So if it's 2 hours, like, is it 2 hours because you're going to show 100 games, or is it 2 hours because you've got a lot you want to show? Like, you've got the One X out there now. Sony just did God of War in Detroit, which God of War, it's already GOTY talks, and Detroit playing it, it's good. It's not going to be GOTY, but it's still, those are 2 solid games. When you compare those to Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, like, I think it's pretty easy to say they kind of have the better lineup for this first half of the year. So if it's 2 hours, why? And is Halo 6 the answer? Like, is that their game? And is it coming this year?
I feel like they're going to wrap up with Halo 6 because I feel like that's going to be their big announcement at this E3. I mean, it has to be the games this year, right? We can't really talk about too much about hardware because we already
It's
have,
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, what game can you make specifically for this? You know, I mean, we're really to that point where you're making Xbox One X games. Like, it doesn't really matter too much.
Right,
you know?
right.
Like, but that's what we need. We need that game.
Right.
You know, again, give the customers that game that they want to get an Xbox One X for. You know.
Well, and I mean, the way they're positioning the One X is, I do like that setup more than the Pro, because like they're basically saying like, you know, you don't need this unless you want the best, and you know, whereas, but they also have a disadvantage because the one versus the regular one versus the regular PS4, the PS4's got the better hardware, so like they're in this weird position to where they can't like, again, and we talked about it's like when they showed off the One X, they didn't really talk crap about the one because it's your own product, but they almost need to. Like, they almost need to be like, look, this is the One X and this is why you need to play it here.
Mm-hmm.
But are you going to spend 2 hours talking about that? I hope not. Like,
I honestly feel from Microsoft, what we're going to see a lot more of games that we've heard of, but like, for example, Tomb Raider. They're going to show off Tomb Raider during the Microsoft conference. You know, probably maybe a Call of Duty as well, since, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has been released.
Sony's got the exclusive on Call of Duty.
Oh,
like,
really?
But I mean,
but like that's what I'm going to see. You know, they're going to show you more gameplay of third titles. You know, third party titles.
Well, I think Cyberpunk is going to be one of their big ones. I can't think of their name now. The Witcher 3 developers. The hell's their name?
Project Red.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red. That's a big game. My cat just totally hit the space button, so I lost my spot. You're awesome, Samus. Thank you.
How does one cat be so distracting?
I don't know. Well, now we lost our time. Anyway, so CD Projekt Red, like, I think Microsoft is going to try really hard because they had The Witcher 3, like advertising rights and all that. Yes. So I think they're going to get CD Projekt Red for that game. But you know, we're sitting here and we're struggling to like find out what they're going to talk about. Like, Forza Horizon 4 has basically already been leaked, and I mean, we already knew that was coming. But it's like, you know, I think the argument that it's always Forza, Halo, and Gears is a tired argument. Like, but it's a good argument. They need more than that, but I think that's all they're going to show. Honestly, like, I do not expect them to have a huge showing.
This is why we like E3.
I can pause. Okay. I'll have to edit that out. That'll be fun.
I'm going to start the same
Go ahead.
This is why we like E3, because we don't know what we're going to get sometimes. Like, right. The mystery behind it, when a conference stays quiet, like, again, we don't know what we're expecting from Microsoft. And that's what makes it more exciting. It can make it more nervous, too, because, like, do we already know what we're getting?
And that's the question. But at this point, so there's one of two ways this is going to play out. Like, for a while now, the argument's been, you know, Phil Spencer got in this position in end of 2013, 2014. It takes time to build studios. It takes time to build games. And they had the unfortunate with Scalebound and Fable Legends and whatever, the Phantom Dust. Like, they announced all these games that ended up not happening. So it's like, what are those teams doing? And are you going to replace those teams with new games? Like, did you just really have a whole bunch of bad luck and those games are coming now? Or are you just going to throw out since you are in second place and you don't have the 80 million install base, are you just playing it safe now until the new Xbox where you can kind of start over? Like, I personally think that's where they're going. Like, they're just kind of riding this out. Like, they're going to do Gears 5, they're going to do Halo 6, and they're going to do Forza because that's what the people that bought the Xbox, that's what they bought it for. Like, you're not going to get the people that want to play God of War on Xbox right now. It's just not going to happen. So if it's 2 hours long, I don't see a reason for it to be unless they've got something big, but I don't see them announcing a huge new title here. I don't think they want to, if that makes sense.
Could you see them actually talk about Halo and Gears at the same conference?
I think they have to.
I feel like they're so delayed at these two at this point.
Right. And that's always been my argument with Halo 6 of why it's coming out this year is because next year would be a Gears year. Like, they're kind of playing around with release dates too. Like, they did Sea of Thieves in March instead of, you know, their typical summer or holiday time. Like, Microsoft is always pushing on holiday games, but so if you're going to have Halo 6 and Gears come out, you're not going to put them both in the holiday. So the only thing I can see is Halo is a very distinct first-person shooter, and that market is now Battlefield, Titanfall, Call of Duty. Like, it used to be the king, but now it can't even, you know, it sells 6 million copies when it used to sell 10. So I mean, while it still is a big seller, it can't compete with Call of Duty. So maybe they're going to release that in March next year. Like maybe that's their thing. Like maybe they're going to do Halo 6 in March and then Gears in the holiday
with Battle Royale mode.
Yeah,
everything is a Battle Royale mode.
They probably will. And actually, out of all the franchises, like I'm actually interested in Call of Duty's Battle Royale mode. I think that could be really good. But if Halo did one, I'd be pretty interested too. But so no, I mean like you said, Microsoft is always a big question mark. But the past couple years, like they keep, we got 41 games. But I think the best announcement that came out of those 41 games was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Like that was your best game, which I love that game. But you don't have anything like God of War,
And where are these Japanese titles they were talking about? These Japanese RPGs that
Fighter Z.
I mean,
Fighters.
Yes, I'll give them credit. That released, and that's been a big hit this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, E3 last year they had a whole segment of like maybe 10 games that they've shown that are possibly going to be released, or maybe something like that. And Fighter Z is the only one I can think of, or at least maybe the other ones are out. But where's the promotion behind it?
Yeah. Well, and none of them are exclusive. Like. This exclusive race, that's always the thing that sells consoles. But again, like with them being behind, I just don't see them. If maybe they've got one big new IP, but the question is who's doing it? Like we know what all their teams are doing. Like the Coalition's doing Gears, 343 is doing Halo, Playground is doing Horizon.
We have Crackdown.
Yeah, Turn 10 is doing Forza. Like unless they've had a studio that's just like hiding out and they haven't said anything to anybody and it hasn't been leaked, like. Fable got leaked, like supposedly. Supposedly Playground's doing Fable, but that's just they started it like late last year, so they're not going to show that. Like maybe they'll do a teaser for it, but again, we need stuff that's coming this year or next year. And so this holiday, what is their game? I don't think they have one, which is kind of sad. But I mean, maybe it is Halo. Like I still think Halo's coming out this year, but I'm going to kind of repeat myself now. But if it's 2 hours. I hope they have new IP, but I also hope that they're coming soon. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Still don't think Halo's coming out this year.
Then what is? Like, what is their game?
That's a good question.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at. But in terms of other things I kind of want to see from them, I really hope Ori and the Will of the Wisps is this year. I'm really looking forward to that game, and that could be a big game, especially on the One X. Like that game looked really freaking good on the regular Xbox. Yeah, like that's a very unique title, and it has a very distinct look. It's kind of like Cuphead. Like Cuphead had that really distinct look, and it turns eyes. And I think Ori can kind of be that game this year. But so I guess the question is like, do you think they're holding on to a game that they haven't talked about, they haven't said anything about? Phil Spencer has said that he doesn't like those longer release cycles, which we already talked about. He likes the shorter announcement. Like they do it well with Horizon and Forza every year. Like we know those games are coming, but they don't show them until E3, and they're out in 3 months. Like I love that because. Even though I know what I'm getting, like I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know where Forza is going to be. I don't know what the new features are. So they show it to me. I get super excited, and then it comes out. But do they have a big game they're going to do that with?
Probably going to go to a little quick rant on this somewhere. But again, for me, Forza, to me, it's similar to Call of Duty. I mean, in the sense, like it can't be too hard to make, right? You have your cars, you just bring them over.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
have your maps, you bring them over. So I don't feel like it's quick to make a Forza game.
Horizon's a little different. Like Horizon
agreed.
Horizon has different locations, but you're right. All the cars come over. So I mean, they basically have 2 years to build a world. But I think it's impressive how good those games are. Like Horizon games are really good.
They give you a reason to get Forza 8 or Horizon 4.
Yeah, I can't believe we're on 4 already. I remember the first one came out. But so back to the question: do you think they're holding on to a game like that they haven't shown, like, and it's going to come out this year? Like that's going to be their big game.
I want one, but I don't think it will.
Yeah.
I think the big game will be Halo, but I think it could potentially be like early next year or holiday next year.
Yeah.
Halo, I'm 90% we're going to see a Halo. But I don't. We've heard nothing about Halo, and I know it's not halfway. We got a little more time till holiday, but for them to bust out a Halo game, that's going to be a blockbuster hit for holiday season or at holiday season, I feel like it's a long run. I feel like it'd be very difficult unless it's really under the cover. No one's talking about it.
Yeah.
And then I'd be very shocked.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I still think that. I think by them holding it close and not, just kind of opening the floodgates, because that can hurt them. Because Halo 5 is a black eye on that franchise. Well,
yeah.
The campaign is like the multiplayer is still phenomenal. Like we still play it; it's amazing. But Halo 5 did not live up to the hype. So I think they're trying to play it really safe with that, and they're trying to be really cagey. That's the only reason I think it might come out this year. And I would bet, like, I don't think they've got like a brand new IP that they're sitting on that they're just going to suddenly release. Like, I don't think that there's been enough time for that, A, and B, I don't think that benefits them in any way. Like, it will, like, I said that wrong. It will benefit them, but it doesn't benefit the Xbox One. Like, I don't think, unless it's some crazy game, like, unless they've got some massive game that they're holding on to and it just turns so many heads, that's the only way to help the Xbox One. But what game would that be? Like, you would need like a Titanfall level or an Anthem level of just reveal of just like, holy shit, this looks amazing. And I just don't know if they've got that in them. And again, I just don't think it helps the Xbox One. So I think we're going to get the Gears, the Halo, and the Forza, and I think people are going to be upset about it, but as an Xbox guy, I'll be happy about it. Like,
all right, so let's get some final thoughts really quick to wrap up. All right, so for me, I feel like they will finish with Halo. They're going to show that off, but I don't think it's coming this year. I think they're really going to show third-party games. I think we're going to see a bit of Anthem in Xbox. I think we're going to see Tomb Raider. And I think Forza, well, yeah, they're leaked that Forza. I feel like that can come out on holiday. And then Ori. Like, I feel like possibly. Like, I feel like they should have Ori to release this year. But I really think that's it. But again, it's 2 hours long.
If it's 2 hours, yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you. I think the One X is their attempt to kind of be back on top with third-party developers, because the 360 was very successful because of that reason. The third-party guys were there. But I'm with you. Like, I think they actually open with Halo. I think you get that out of the way. And then I think you close with Gears, because I think you could... Ooh. I really think that Gears...
I'd be excited for that.
Gears is your... I think that needs to be your new Halo. Like, it's different enough. There isn't anything like it in the market. I would love to see them, because Gears 4 was really good too. I want to see them double down on Gears. You can still have your Halo, but I think Gears is what you should be focusing on going forward. That's just personal. But you're right. You're going to see Tomb Raider. I think their big get in terms of like exclusive rights, but it's not going to be exclusive, but like exclusive showing rights or viewing rights, whatever, is going to be Cyberpunk. I think that's going to be like a big game for them. We already know they've got Anthem. So,
and whatever Project Red's possibly working on.
Yeah, that's Cyberpunk. And so like, they're going to have huge games, like you said, Tomb Raider, and they'll probably get Splinter Cell. I think they're probably going to get rights on Splinter Cell.
Nice.
But I don't expect them to announce a huge exclusive, I guess. I think their exclusives are going to be what you think they are, and then all of it's going to be third party, which is fine for me. As someone who has all the consoles, I love the One X because it's got some real horsepower in there, and that's why I'm excited about it. So... But that's going to do it for our Microsoft predictions. Not a lot, because not a lot has been leaked, so either that's a good thing or a bad thing. But let us know what you think in the comments below, and tune into the next video for Nintendo.